The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on which place you are currently in the world. Welcome to this session part of BCI's Business Continuity Awareness Week. This year, 2022, the theme is Building Resilience in the Hybrid World. And I'm going to be touching on this topic, embedding, which is very important according to me, embedding business continuity in the hybrid workplace, which has happened at least in the last 2 years, what we call is extended COVID-19 pandemic period. Quickly about myself, I'm a fellow of BCI, fellow of BCS, CBCI, senior member of IEEE, and few other affiliations with my name, certified international trainer and certified corporate trainer with over 10,000 hours of training and teaching experience. Have played many different roles, have dirtied my hands myself. I have done this myself. So, as a trainer, consultant, auditor, assessor, executioner, author, mentor, speaker, over 35 years in the industry and over 16 years in this domain. In the past, we used to simply call it business continuity management. Now, slowly, we are calling resilience more than business continuity management. So all that I know is operational resilience, organizational resilience, business continuity, risk, and crisis. I've written 2 books so far, as I'm displaying here. 3 more should come out this year. One most likely within this month, second in August, and the third one, even date is fixed, 11th November, which will be called My Experiments with Organizational Resilience. So that's what I'm working on currently. While my passion for BCM continues, there have been questions in the world for last few years. In last few years, is BCM dead or will BCM die? BCM is not dead. BCM will never die. So quickly, to start with the discussions, let's look at what is hybrid workplace. A hybrid workplace model mixes in-office and a remote work to offer flexibility and support to employees. In a hybrid workplace, employees typically enjoy more autonomy and better work-life balance. Questionable, but as of now, I'm reading the definition and let's go with the definition as of now. And are more engaged as a result. The employees are more engaged as a result of hybrid working. Employers benefit by building a more productive, questionable, healthy, and stable workforce. Questionable, but at least this was the definition, or this is the definition. And I picked up this up from SAP, so one of the big names in the world. I've given the link if someone wants to check. So this is what hybrid workplace is. In easiest terms, perhaps we would have said office and home, my home, my office. But it need not necessarily be home. It could be any other place other than my normal working, place other than my office, and that's why we also call a remote work. Stay with this, please. I've attempted to keep it interactive also. So I have built in some polls. I request active participation and I'll launch the first one in front of you. The question is, what attracted you to this session? I'm launching the poll. I hope it will be in front of you soon. I hope you can see the options. 4, you can select only one. Please do participate. Whether it was the topic, the presenter, you, despite being a BCM expert, wanted to learn a little more, or if you were new and wanted to learn. Okay, I'll close the poll and I'll attempt to share this results with you all. And I hope you can see the results also. 50% said the topic attracted them. Only 1% came for the presenter, which is fine. I do not mind. 29% saying BCM expert, they wanted to learn more, but there are 16% in this session who are new to BCM and wanted to learn. That's why they have been into the session. Great. Thank you very much. So I've built in a few more. Please keep participating like this. That'll be great. So what has happened is we are looking at extended workplace. What is extended workplace? Because of this hybrid working. Started with office or starts with office. My home came into picture, and I keep saying that the moment you allow me to work from home, my home becomes the extension of the office. And the moment we say that, we understand this, we would immediately understand that it brings some challenges along with that. The moment my home becomes the extension of the office, all the rules and regulations, all the policies of the office could, should, must become applicable at home also. And that could be a challenge that most of us would not be able to, rather than saying would fail, I'm saying would not be able to comply with many. I'm not saying with all we would fail or will be in non-compliance. Degree of compliance will go down. So these are the challenges the moment you ask me to work from home or you allow me to work from home. But it's not my home, it could be someone else's home, because we are saying, Daman, you could be working from anywhere. All that I need is a laptop and a connectivity. At the most, we say secured connection. I could be working from car. Just keep looking at how this has changed the extended workplace. It could be co-work space. I may be working from a shop, or could be a mall, maybe from a coffee shop. It could be any shop. It could be specifically a coffee shop. I could be working from road, stopped my car, and I started working. Many salespeople were saying in the past also, even before COVID-19 pandemic, they were working from a road or any place. It could be co-work space, sorry, coming again, or any other place which I have not listed yet. Maybe you will say, Daman, there's one more place. Please keep adding. I wouldn't mind. You could be working from under the tree, connectivity available, laptop available, and you could be enjoying the shade and enjoying the nature, could be working from there. The reason I have attempted to draw this picture, extended workplace, is that it's getting linked with some, we'll see some challenges, and the topic embedding BCM, which is very important step in the whole journey, embedding, according to me. And that brings few extra additional challenges when our workplace gets extended. At the end, I'm attempting to give you some solutions also, what could be, should be done according to me. With this next poll coming up, and my request, please participate to the fullest. Poll launched. The question is, my challenges of hybrid workplace, your challenges of hybrid workplace, either perceived or actual, and select all that apply. There are 5 options for you: loss of peace of mind, loss of privacy, stress, boredom, or long working hours. I can see the response is varying. I'll wait for a few more seconds. Only 43% have voted so far, which is not good for me. My intention is to publish an analysis report, even if it's 2-pager, after the webinar is over. So I need as many as possible. 70% we have reached. So at this point, I would like to stop and share the results with you. My request for the remaining polls, there are 3 more coming up. Please move your fingers fast. Let's do some exercise also. We need to stay fit. And the results, I hope you can see on your screens now. 15% have said loss of peace of mind. 31%, which is the largest response, 31% saying loss of privacy or company's intrusion into my life, my personal life, or into my privacy. 18% getting affected by stress also. And we were saying either it is perceived or actually it has happened. And 27%, which is second largest number, are saying information and physical security. So what we see is if we mix stress and loss of peace of mind, I'll become about 33%, which is the biggest one. This is what we need to keep in mind when we are saying hybrid for ever or for as long as required or as long as possible. Work from home or hybrid is a solution, is a BCM solution, but it has to be a temporary solution only because it brings in more challenges along with than it resolves. According to me, a life fall has happened here. I've done global surveys in last 2 years, about 110 surveys, and generally 50% on an average are saying that there is some challenge. There is some challenge in working from home. Number of, I have listed 5 only. I have gone up to 10 different categories in the surveys. 50% saying yes, eagerly looking forward to going back to office. What does that mean? That there is some pain at home. We should not ignore those pains. Great. Thank you very much. Keep participating as we move on. Some impacts of hybrid working. We said, you all said, and I have got something. You may say, Daman, yes, this is matching with it. So I'm a great mind reader. I read your minds before I asked this question in the webinar. Thank you very much. One good news is we have hit a century. I am encouraged. A webinar will not be successful without you all the participants. So benefits of working from home: increased employee productivity. I'm saying big question mark on this. Reduced overhead costs, most likely because the company is saving on the infrastructure. Better employee experience and work-life balance, question mark on work-life balance. In my research, great number of people have said work-life imbalance, not balance, imbalance. We shouldn't ignore these points. Improved safety and social distancing. So these appear to be the benefits of hybrid working, but I'm also listing the challenges. Productivity has not gone up according to me. My output has increased because I'm not working 8 hours anymore. I'm working 10, 12, 15, 16 hours perhaps. So we need to once again be very sure when we say productivity has gone up. And there was or is one-time additional expense in providing IT and other infrastructure. The numbers of home violence, divorce, and counseling have gone up, which tells us there is some stress. This is not in one country, this is in many countries. There are confirmed reports available. From many countries, we know that report does not come out, or the data or figures do not come out, but such reports are available. Physical and information security, which was your response also. According to me, the levels of information and physical security that we achieve in office can never be achieved at our home. So there is some compromise known to both parties, the vendor and the customer both, but no one is speaking this out because otherwise work will stop. COVID-19 has continued for longer than anticipated by anyone else. A sense of they and us is developing. This was a research that I came to know done in UK. And after that, I have been using this and I have been sharing. There were some people, for example, IT, who had to be in the office even when there were lockdowns and most of us working from home. In some industries like manufacturing units, work cannot be done from home. People had to be in the office. So someone on the shop floor had to be in the factory. But even in that manufacturing unit, there were some people, mostly the back-end support functions, who could work from home, and this is how they continued. And this developed a sense of they and us. They are lucky, they are at home with their family and enjoying. Me, you, we too in the office, us. We are unlucky. We are not important for the company, or our lives are not important for the company. We are being forced to come, or we have to come to the office. Others are enjoying. People are now used to working in silos. This is what has happened. People do not like meeting people. Some people are looking forward to, for this reason, to go back to office. But some people, Daman, I'm happy now. I don't have to talk to people. I don't have to meet people. So that is an incorrect happening according to me. Some people are missing the office environment. Communication has become a big challenge. While our means have improved, we have so many gadgets, we have so many tools, there are so many ways of communicating with each other. But actually, that is increasing the gap in communication. Another fact which I have not been able to bring on this slide, that when people are not talking to each other, there could be impact on the quality as well as the quantity of the work that I'm doing from a remote place or from hybrid place when I'm away from the office. And the last one I'm showing is moonlighting. The employers have lost control over the employees. The one could be working at two places. No one knows that he's working at other place also. The man could say that this is within my reaches. See, my work is being done for you. There is no impact on that. I'm delivering. Maybe I'm not sleeping. I'm working 20 hours. I'm working 24 hours. So this is none of your business. But that's not correct, or that's not ethical, may not be legal also. So we need to look at our policies, whether we allow and whether we are not concerned. Even if you say, Daman, you can work, but company is good company, Daman, and we look forward to the employees' health also, which is physical as well as mental. You may be working 20 hours, you may be making money, right? But physically, mentally, perhaps you have been going down. So we are worried and we are concerned about you. That's why we wouldn't allow. But because you're not in office now, we do not have control. So these are impacts of hybrid working we should keep in mind. Very important slide which I have picked up from ISO 22313 2012 version, which helps us to understand the interested parties. Very easy to say, but this is a very deep topic. I could have spent full day or days, couple of days talking about this. Generally, just a replacement of the word called stakeholders. We had stakeholders in the past, and we have interested parties now. But when I do these discussions, after some time, people say, "The one this was eye opener." Couple of these we never thought were stakeholders. So we wouldn't think that they were interested parties. One of those at the bottom of the slide, the dependents of staff. I'm an employee of the company. I was a stakeholder and I'm an interested party. What about my family? We never thought they were, but they are. Another one at the top, competitors. We never thought competitors were stakeholders, but competitors are interested parties also. So what we see in the diagram is about 30. The middle tower is internal interested parties, left and right is external. These are only 30 types, not 30 numbers. The numbers could be any tens, 20, hundreds, thousands, and millions also, billions across the globe. So that's why it's very important. Well, we are discussing embedding. Before reaching that point, I wanted to discuss interested parties also. These were the interested parties when we were working from the office. The moment we have hybrid workplace, there are some additions to these. I'm working from home, then there are parents and grandparents also. Not for all, but for some of us. And they may be relatively less educated if they are into 70s, 80s, 90s, perhaps. Some perhaps have scored centuries also, which will be good, lucky ones. And there are children at home and in different age groups. They may be toddlers, they may be school and college going children at home. So they are Now, extended interested parties because of extended workplace, the hybrid workplace that we call. Spouse who may be or may not be working, and we'll see how does that impact embedding in the next coming up slides. There may be siblings also. So these are children, assume children, right? Working and working in different organizations. And they may have this tussle also. My BCM, I'm working with ABC, and your BCM, you're working with XYZ, are different, may be different, and they may be tussle, due to which we'll go back to the impacts or negative impacts or challenges of hybrid working. Oh, by the way, how many people are working from home? This hybrid place. One. My company knows only one. So the one, this is your laptop. At the most, this is your desk also later on has been provided. Initially, we didn't have, so we had to manage with our own desks at home. But they may be spouse, they may be 1, 2, 3 kids, they may be brothers, sisters, they may be parents also perhaps working from home. 7, 8 people, 7, 8 laptops. Do we have space for 7, 8 desktops also? I mean to say the desks also. And if not, that is one of the reasons that there is compromise on information security at home. We cannot touch the levels of information security at home what we get in office. And there are some other service providers also, which may be maids, which may be guards. So I'm repeating, interested party is very important discussion. People have not understood this. In my experience, I have gone across companies, countries, having been an auditor also. So what I'm sharing is based on not from one company or what, not one country, but my collective experience. If most of us understand BCM, I would take that. Well, we understood there were some people who were new to BCM, about 17, 18%. In the beginning, we had that call. The standard is ISO 22301, the current version being 2019. And the discussion about interested parties starts about in the beginning itself, within the clause 4 perhaps. Two discussions. There is one about context of the organization also, and there is one about regulatory requirements, and one is about interested parties. Generally, organizations have not done well on these points, even if the journey is 10, 15 years, even if the journey is certified journey, which is a surprise to me. But no one is perfect in this world, and there is always improvement possible. So when I'm bringing these out, please check, go back, check in your organization, and keep making improvements. So when the workplace has become hybrid workplace, we looked at that diagram also from office to the tree. Then our interested parties also have got extended. We have so many new additional, and with the help of these, then I'll attempt to take you through that journey, which is called embedding business continuity in the hybrid workplace. For this, I'm coming with next poll 3. The question is, do you agree with my discussions about extended workplace, challenges of hybrid workplace, and extended interested parties? My request is please participate 200% if we can touch that figure. Launching poll 3 in front of your screens now, on your screens now, and you have 3 options: yes, no, no, and I will write my observations to you separately. I'll be happy to have any observations. Very easy to reach me. DBD, Delhi, Bombay, Delhi, Soothe at hotmail.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on all social medias. Whichever way you find easy, please get in touch with me. 63% voting so far. So I'll wait for a few more seconds. As I said, my intention is to analyze this data after the event and publish a quick small report. Now this is global audience, I understand. So it is going to be a report, global analysis. This time we are struggling at 69%. So we will close here at this moment, and I'll attempt to share the results. This is how you all have said. 90% are saying yes. They agree with the discussion so far. So good, great. Thank you very much. 8% saying no. So maybe because we have kept the time, you may like to comment upon, you may like to ask questions. I'll attempt to answer the questions, and no one is perfect. So I'll also attempt to improve in the future. 1% is saying no, and I'll write my observations to you. Thank you very much. I look forward to that. And based on that, I can improve upon my deliveries and my research and my content. Great. Thank you very much, all of you. So what I'm attempting to show here is the impact of the extended hybrid place, due to which extended interested parties, that the scope of embedding has increased many folds. And this is what the topic is. This is why it is important to understand all this. Embedding happens throughout the stages, whether we follow BCI's BCM lifecycle, which is published in the GPG, current version being 2018 version. The next version is being worked upon. I understand should be out soon, and we should be able to use it soon. Or we follow any other BCM lifecycle published in any other book. Embedding is important, which happens through training and awareness. Immediately impact is the moment I'm saying that the scope gets increased. So the impact is on budget of your training awareness program also. Impact is on the efforts of your training and awareness program and schedules as well. Now you have more people. I'm not sure who means which organization will accept this debate or discussion or argument easily, because I am saying parents, children, spouse, siblings, and other service providers. It's not easy. And it's not easy because immediately nothing comes free in this world. It is impacting my budget, Daman. That's why I have question mark on this. But see, you, my employer, have allowed me to work from home. So I have extended parties at home. Simple. I spent a little more time on that. The cycle of interested parties. Once again, there is a requirement in ISO 22301 if you want to go that way. What is written, because that's the collection of good practices along with good practices in the GPG as well. There is an expectation requirement that you need to identify your interested parties and their needs and expectations. And in simplest terms, the standard stops at that point. And that's why perhaps we do in different ways, and there may be some shortcomings. The shortcoming, once again, I'm repeating, having gone, being across companies and countries, that this is not done well. People do not know their interested parties. At least we change the term, we say relevant interested parties. Who are your relevant interested parties? If you're not aware of those, your BCM cannot be a good BCM. Your business cannot be good business. You don't need to know interested parties for BCM. You need to know interested parties for your business. The B in BCM is business. The first step I'm saying is identify the relevant interested parties, and there can be a process for that. How will you do that? Simply, I could say we all, steering committee or the heads, we will sit together and we will discuss and we will make list. This is our process. But the moment we say process, once again, good practices, it should not be in your head, in your mind. When you say there is a process, it should be a written down process. And when you say process has been documented, it needs to be written, reviewed, and approved. At least these three: written by someone, reviewed by someone, approved by someone. But the job is not over yet. The story is not over yet. Once the process has been approved, it needs to be published to the relevant interested parties. Once it has been published, it needs to be used. Otherwise, why did you write? When you use a process, it must produce something, some output. That's what the process is. There should be some inputs and there should be some outputs. At least one input and at least one output must be there. So when you use the process which has been written, reviewed, approved, published, when you use it, it should produce some output. That output must be published once again to relevant interested parties. And once that output is published, that product, that needs to be used once again. Otherwise, why did you produce it? Save time, money, and effort. Don't do anything for nothing. There must be an objective. There should be a purpose behind it. And in BCM journey, we always keep saying that your BCM needs to be aligned with your organization's goals, objectives, VMB, purpose, etc. Cause of your existence. Don't do BCM just for doing BCM. So interested parties are required, identified. The process which produced the list of interested parties. Over a period, the product needs to be reviewed and refined if required, and the process also reviewed and refined if required. So this is how we need to go so deep or so far. So step one done, you have identified your relevant interested parties. The list is not enough. Some people, some organizations would show me the list. That's good, but that's not good enough. You need to know, that's what the requirement of the standard is, to know their needs and expectations. And it's a difficult task, especially when we are saying now these interested parties are extended interested parties. There is someone at home, my family, dependents of staff are interested party. What do they expect from me, the organization? That needs to be known. And how do you know that? That is a big challenge. We run, almost all organizations run employee satisfaction surveys, for example, or any other survey, and we can seek that input from the employees. If we run the same survey for the families with the, or similar survey with the families, we may not get responses because families may be uncomfortable. We don't know what is BCM. So first you need to tell them what is BCM. This is how the embedding scope gets extended, increased. If you are asking, I'm a dependent of some staff in your organization, you're asking me some questions about BCM, Daman, what are your needs and expectations? Because we are a good company, right? How do we answer that question? So you need to first perhaps need to make me aware about BCM. This is how the scope of embedding is increasing. Even if you do that, now I've understood, but I may still be reluctant to answer the question. My needs and expectations may be high. And I may see, if I say that, then perhaps my whoever is working in the company, spouse, he or she may be now under pressure. His family, her family demands a lot. So I may be willing to say A. My need and expectation is A, but perhaps I will say B. So we need to increase this trust or faith within each other. Then only the right responses will come. So yes, you have done that. All good. Then what? Now, Daman, we have a list and we know the needs and expectations also of all relevant interested parties. And we will stop there. No. You ask me, then you need to do it. So you need to plan to fulfill those needs and expectations for me. Whatever I am, whoever I am. You asked, so you need to do. And that's why many times we don't get good responses, either internally from employees or from customers, or now from the extended families that we are talking about. You asked this question last year also, and after that you didn't come back to me. So I don't trust this I don't trust this process anymore. I don't trust you. I may not be able to say that, but I have that in the mind. They just keep asking whether it is my company or my spouse's company. They just keep asking questions. They don't come back. Never. So we need to do that. First, plan to take actions accordingly. And we may say, you said 10, but this year we are picking up only 2 or 3, and these 2 and 3. All that is acceptable. But no response, not going back is not acceptable. Then you tend to lose your customers, your interested parties, for example. When you're taking some actions, you have drawn up some plans, you need to go back to them, your interested parties. This is how we are meeting the needs and expectations. This is where we stand. All right. So in the past, if we all were running employee satisfaction surveys and client satisfaction surveys, it appears we need to go to family satisfaction surveys also. And client satisfaction surveys or employee satisfaction surveys were not part of BCM, but we see there is a linkage. We always had been saying that all departments need to work in sync, right? This is where we see a linkage between employee satisfaction and BCM, or client satisfaction and BCM, and family satisfaction and BCM. We need to go back and then need to seek their responses once again. So are you happy with us? This is what we have done. This is what we have achieved. And what is your satisfaction level? Are we doing good, bad, or ugly on this point? So again, we could have spent a lot of time on this with examples also, but the webinar is just for about 45 minutes, last 15 minutes for you all to ask questions. I'll attempt to finish in next 10 minutes. With this, all 4 in front of you, I've understood the interested parties life cycle, the current position in my organization. The question is about your organization. What is happening in your organization with respect to the interested parties, which is poll number 4 in front of you. Please move the fingers fast. I request full participation. Options are: we have not gone this deep, we do exactly like this, seeking extended interested parties needs fulfillment, and expectation. It's a real challenge to do this, you are saying, and we need not include interested parties or extended interested parties in our BCM program. May I request full participation in the poll, please? We still have 95 people around. Few more seconds if we can do a little better. We have just crossed 50% participation. Okay, with this then I close, and results in front of you, I believe. 38% of you have said we have not gone this deep. So my suggestion, recommendation is, please take this as an action. It could be from corporate governance point of view, or it could be from compliance to ISO 22301 if you're following that. The one we are not looking for certification to 22301, that's okay, it's not mandatory. But following ISO 22301 is good. So even if you're not looking for certification, follow ISO 22301, and then it is good to go that deep. 26% have said we do exactly like this. So that's very good, encouraging to me to know that it is happening already like this in so many organizations. 23% says extended interested parties expectations are a real challenge, which is understood. I have said myself, it's not easy. It's deep topic subject, needs time and effort as well. 30% are opting for the 4th one. We need not include extended interested parties in BCM or in any other program, which is not correct according to me, especially when we are talking of the hybrid workplace. Extended interested parties came into picture only because of my workplace getting extended or my workplace becoming hybrid workplace. Hybrid initially simplest would be office and work and home, but then it could be any other place. So we have then been saying a remote place, and we saw that perhaps it could be working under a tree, under a bridge, under a flyover also. Thank you very much for your participation. Continuing with my discussions. So how do we embed BCM in the hybrid workplace? And for these that we saw, extended ones, whatever were the original in office interested parties, assumption is we have already taken care of them for embedding BCM, business continuity. We are now looking at the extended ones only and a quick view according to me. For employees, my suggestion, do a BCM refresher. A lot needs to be done for the employees also. For example, a relook or a refresher, a quick view, quick module on BCM awareness, information security, physical security, anti-corruption, anti-bribery, anti-fraud, because these become easy, little easy. Well, we are working from not office, but any other place, whether it could be home or shop or shopping mall. So a refresher is recommended. NDA, many employees are old employees. NDA is generally signed in the beginning, the day a person joins. So a refresher, please ask people to sign NDA so that they read what is allowed, what is not allowed. And then it's fresh in the mind. Maybe some other policies need to be amended for this hybrid work. Roles, responsibilities, and authorities. A refresher around these. Daman, this is what you are supposed to do, you can do, you are authorized to do. Then who is who in the BCM organization? Escalation points. We are not away from the office. In the office, if I do not know, I can ask someone else, right? So when I'm in the hybrid place, away from the office, it's good to do these reminders. HR contacts, and as we were saying, there are some challenges related to stress and mental health also. So maybe counseling also required. And I know in last 2 years I've been working closely with some counselors, not only social workers, but counselors, right? And they have been saying the number of interactions have increased. More people are coming to us seeking counseling. So we need to increase that in our office also. It may not be under HR directly. It may not be an HR person. Counselors are specialists. So their contacts, if I'm stressed, I may need to call someone. What are different helplines, including the stress helpline, or it may be BCM helpline or crisis helpline. A reminder around those. Save information. This is additional point that you would have to put in your training presentations. Save information and devices from all at home. And these all include your family members as well as your maids and guards. What are your utility backup arrangements at home? In office would have been doing, again, a big question mark, doing well, because there are many gaps we know in many organizations even today. Then ask employees to submit a report of what they have done with respect to the extended work family. Because who would be doing this embedding, if it's awareness or training for these people? Most likely the employees. I am the employee, I would be doing it at my home for my family members and other people, for example, maids and guards that we were saying. So ask me, Daman, what have you done so far? So there is a check, there is some improvement. And because of those challenges of stress and mental pressures or mental health degradation, please provide officially, this is my suggestion, recommendation in embedding BCM, peace of mind through yoga, meditation, hobbies, whatever. People are working extra hours. Some people are forcing, bosses are forcing, expecting more to be done by the man, because the man is working from home. It's easy now for the man. The people are saying, the man, I'm not working 8 hours anymore. Up to 18 hours also. Some people are working like that. So when organizations, and there are some big names also in the world that have claimed that productivity went up when people were working from home in the hybrid workplace. Not according to me, because within that 8 hours, you need to provide me some time for yoga, meditation, hobbies. It should not be from my personal time, my recommendation, my suggestion. So actually, my productive time will reduce. There are parents at home, so talk to them at least some terms, BCM, risk, crisis, disaster, and you may have to use a local or preferred language with them. Talk about these terms or these activities. What is evacuation? What are the escape routes? Where is the assembly area? If any, at home, there may be doubts around that as well. There may be challenges around that as well. Encourage the residential society management to increase focus on evacuation drills. Many do anyway, but ask them to do more now. Do's and don'ts. Talk to them about do's and don'ts. So your parents also should know about fire drills, etc. That's what I mean to say. And at least few. I mentioned only flood, fire, earthquake. You may like to add few more do's and don'ts about those, and peace of mind for them also. If you are stressed, your parents will also be, most likely will also be stressed. So talk to them about yoga, meditation, hobbies, which may be similar that you picked up from the office, or which may be similar that your office did for you. The next category is children and different age groups, toddlers to school and college going. So there's something for them also I'm recommending. For the kids, especially toddlers, 3, 4, 5, 6 years age, this is a very good movie. While it's only perhaps one scene about evacuation, that's what I mean to say. Please encourage them to go through that, or any other movies which will show that. A very good way, or it was very well depicted in the movie, so I'm just recommending that movie. Save your official devices from your kids. I hope all will agree with me on that. And talk some terms, VCM, risk, crisis. You may not be able to talk these with the toddlers, but school going, right, college going, for sure you can talk about these. Some countries, some universities, colleges, schools have put BCM, risk, crisis, disaster, etc. in the curriculum also. That it will not be too difficult, but specifically do it, please. Talk about evacuation, again, not with toddlers, but anyone else. Maybe 4, 5, 6 years onwards, we should start talking these terms. Activity, escape routes in the assembly area, do's and don'ts for at least flood, fire, earthquake, and peace of mind for them also. Again, that the degree may vary when you move up the age group. Your spouse, who may or may not be working, again, talk to them about some terms, BCM, risk, crisis, disaster, etc. Talk to them about evacuation. So what is this activity? How to do this? What are the escape routes? Where are the assembly areas? Hide your company's information with due respect to all of us. I don't mean to disrespect, but being practical, and we need to have a reasonable and practical approach to BCM. So I'm bringing this in embedding portion. Hide your company's information. Do not share devices either from your spouse, he or she may be working, or your device to him or her if you are working. Then don'ts and do's. Similarly for these, with a spouse, you may be talking a little more. With working spouse, you may be talking a little more. You can go a bit deep. And most likely, he, she also knows a lot from their company's embedding, BCM embedding. Encourage a personal emergency kit, which is a personal good habit. Um, I started BCM about 16 years ago. After a couple of years, having been watching to me, listening to me, looking at me, my wife picked up this habit and she prepared an emergency kit at home, which is simple, some important documents, some jewelry, and some cash, which she has kept in that. Depending on the countries, we know that, and depending on the space available, we can store water, food, etc., some other some groceries also, for example, right? But prepare an emergency kit. The moment you say emergency kit, there will be some questions, and when you do it, there will be some questions and some understanding, and the awareness will go. That is embedding happening automatically. And there may be some challenges also, as they were with siblings working into different countries. My BCM is, or my company's BCM is better than your company's BCM. There could be with spouses also when both are working, right? Your BCM versus my BCM, and we need to be aware of these. We need to be managing the challenges, but learning. If there is some point in some other company's BCM better than me in my spouses, I should happily be adopting those and maybe bringing those to my company also, so that my company also improves upon that. And the peace of mind, yoga, meditation, hobbies is important for spouses also, whether working or not working. Principle is same. If you are stressed, your spouse also will most likely be stressed. Siblings, pick up good practices from others company, just like the spouse. Hide your company's information, do not share devices. Peace of mind, yoga, meditation, hobbies, that is coming across for all of them, including the next also, which are other service providers. Talk to them also. They may be stressed even if you are not stressed, but they are your service providers. They are providing you services, you're dependent on them. Then take care of them also, please. So talk to them about some terms. Again, perhaps you will have to use a different language. Talk about evacuation. The moment they are with you, just as we used to say about office, your visitors are your responsibility. The moment I'm in your office, you are responsible for my life. You need to take care of me. So similarly, your service providers, when they are at your home, they become your responsibility. Similarly, some do's, don'ts, good practices about these. Talk to them. And peace of mind, yoga, meditation, hobbies. We may have some emergency equipment at home or in the building also. So with all of these, talk about those also. As in the office, we would have done some fire evacuation drill. Along with drill, we do some firefighting using the equipment. That training slowly bring these extended interested party also to that level that they are also able to use, if required, when required, some of these equipments. With this call 5 coming up in the front of you, my request is maximum participation, as I have been doing, saying for all polls also, and this is the last one in today's discussions. Question in front of you. My priorities. So your priorities with respect to the extended interested parties. You may have some different options on your poll because there were limitations with respect to the amount of words, characters that I could put up and the amount of options that I could put up. So we refined in the tool, but the presentation is still showing the old one. But those are similar, just characters have been reduced, options have been merged, something like that. So you'll be selecting what you have in front of you on your screens. Your options are maids and guards, spouse, children, parents, and siblings. Sorry. Okay. In few seconds, I'll be closing and sharing the results with you. This is what you have said. 10% is saying maids and guards, but what it says, great number. First priority is a spouse, 62%. The second priority comes to be children. Third priority is maids and guards, parents at 4%, and siblings at 2%. We can go deep and we can find the reasons, etc., which are not available currently in this poll, or we do not have time to go deep. Perhaps I do not stay with parents. That's why parents' score has gone low. Or I do not have siblings. That's why the score is low. But that we are not doing as of currently. Immediately, what's coming out of the survey is top priority is spouse, which is good. Perhaps you all deserve a clap for yourselves for doing this. At this point, I would like to stop, and we do have time for questions. Thank you very much. First of all, without you, all the participants, the webinar wouldn't be successful. And your questions can be typed in. I'll request my colleague from BCI to help me with the questions. I'll attempt to answer as many as possible. We have about 5 minutes, I believe. Embedding business continuity in the hybrid workplace is what we discussed. How the workplace has expanded, then the interested parties have expanded, and then few tips from me. How do we take care of those extended interested parties with respect to increasing awareness about business continuity?
Thank you, Daman. We haven't had any questions coming in yet. We're gonna give people a few more minutes to type in their questions. We do, however, have a comment from Andy that housemates, non-family, are also interested parties.
Sorry, I couldn't get it. Can you repeat, please?
So housemates that are non-family are also part of the interested parties.
Housemates, yes, my suggestion is yes. Whoever is at home, because they may be looking at my screen. I'm working from home, so I need to be taking care of them. And at that moment, if there is some incident in my house, right, at my home, they are my responsibility. Then I should have talked to them. What are the escape routes? How to do, what to do in case of flood, fire, earthquake, for example. Basic minimum at least. So I'm saying yes, they are also my extended family now. So they become extended interested party for my company because my company allowed me to work from home.
Thank you, Daman. We're giving the people a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, there was one question that came in now.
Yeah.
If we have to follow BC at our home/personal spaces,
yes,
can we think of it as a home continuity?
If you have to follow BC at home, can we assume?
Can we think of it as a home continuity?
Yes, it is. Yeah, home continuity. It's only now that I'm saying this is extended office. So I'm linking this with office BCM embedding or awareness. But even if you were working from office only or from home only, it would have been good if you were talking about these points. How to evacuate or what to do in case of different types of incidents or keeping an emergency kit. That is the basic minimum I'm saying. While in office, we spend up to hours, days also in training and awareness on all these points. Example I gave about 12 years ago, 14 years ago, my wife created that personal emergency kit, right? There was no hybrid workplace at that time. We are not talking of home continuity. These may be new terms that we'll start using. Home continuity is important. Why not?
Thank you, Daman. Another question came through. After embedding BCM in a hybrid workplace, so now I guess one of the impact of any disruptions, which is loss of premises, has to be changed, as now we are already having remotely working environment. What do you think, please, and what can be instead?
I'm sorry, you will have to repeat the question again for me, please. There seems to be some disturbance in communication at my end.
We'll do that again, no problem. So after embedding BCM in a hybrid workplace, so now I guess one of the impact of any disruptions, which is loss of premises, has to be changed, as now we are already having remotely working environment. What do you think of this, and what can be done instead? What can it be instead?
Yeah. So when we were talking of just the strategies for building, for office building, I would say there is a strategy that there is an alternate place of work, right? which in last 2 years, it appears almost across globe, almost all companies became home, work from home. So that is my extended facility, right? It's not because of that. Some people, some companies thought that now we don't know BCM. We don't need BCM. Now it's work from home or extended workplace because we have tried and tested everyone. It does, it works. In the past, perhaps we had some doubts, but we have done it now. Including a real case, a client told me, Daman, stop this work, BCM implementation that you are doing for us, because now it's work from home, which is not correct. According to me, we need to be doing more complex, if you want to use that word, or more comprehensive tests of business continuity plans when we are working from home. So it's not that BCM is dead or BCM is not required or BCM tests are not required or the scope is reducing or importance are reducing. Actually, importance is increasing because of complexity. We have seen a couple of slides that I have spent time also on, from office to the tree. That is the workplace now, which means complexity is increasing, which means we need to be spending more time, effort on BCM, not less.
Thank you, Daman. This seemed to be the last question that came in.
Okay.
We can give another minute.
Yeah.
People that might want to write questions down. However, if they don't feel like writing the questions down here, they're most welcome to contact you on your social channels and then ask the questions directly there to you.
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer any questions that come directly also, or even through BCI, whichever way they want to do.
Okay, so I think this brings us to the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, Daman, for your presentation today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone that attended, and thank you for taking part in the BCI for BCAW 2022 this year. And I hope you all have a lovely day and see you all very soon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.